Welcome to the weekly roundup of Air News Daily Bulletins, the go-to place to catch up with all the stories that made the news last week.
Cleveland will be getting a boost thanks to United Airlines, who, from the 24th of September, will be introducing a 5 times per week service from the Ohio city to Las Vegas in Nevada. Additionally, United will also be launching a 5 times per week service from Cleveland to Miami, commencing on the 3rd of December. Both routes will operate every day except Tuesdays and Wednesdays using the airline's Boeing 737-800s. Philippine low-cost operator Cebu Pacific will be resuming operations between its Manila hub and Dubai in the UAE from the 2nd of July. Flights will operate 4 times weekly using the carrier's A330s on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays. Etihad Airways will be increasing frequency between its Abu Dhabi home and the French capital Paris from the 1st of July, when it introduces a 3rd daily service to Charles de Gaulle. 2 of the 3 services will be flown using the carrier's A380s, and the 3rd will use one of its Dreamliners. Saudi low-cost operator Flyadeal will be introducing a daily service between its Riyadh hub and the Indian city of Hyderabad from the 1st of July. Flights will operate on the carrier's A320neo aircraft. Latvian flag carrier Air Baltic will be introducing a once-weekly service commencing on the 2nd of January between the Lithuanian capital Vilnius and Geneva in Switzerland. The airline will also be introducing another once-weekly service between its home base of Riga and Turin in northern Italy from the 27th of January. Both flights, unsurprisingly, will be flown using the Airbus A220. US giant Delta Airlines has commenced services between its Boston hub and Nice on the Côte d'Azur in France. Flights operate 3 times per week on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. The seasonal route is being flown using the carrier's A330-300 fleet. Alaska Airlines has launched its first ever service from its Seattle home to the United Kingdom with the introduction of a daily flight to London Heathrow on board the carrier's Dreamliner fleet. The airline has leased the Heathrow slots to operate the service from fellow One World member American Airlines and will be competing against British Airways, Delta Airlines and Virgin Atlantic. On the 25th of October, Swiss will be introducing a 5 times per week service between its Zurich home base and Bengaluru in India. Flights will operate every day except Mondays and Wednesdays and be flown using the carrier's A350 fleet. That's your routes update for this week, folks. I will be back in the studio tomorrow morning to bring you our regular show. So until then, you have a great day. Bye for now. Hong Kong International Airport will be welcoming its first customers to its new Terminal 2 departures facility tomorrow when it opens for business. 15 airlines will be relocating to Terminal 2 starting from tomorrow to include local carriers HK Express Airways, Hong Kong Airlines and Greater Bay Airlines. The airport has said it hopes to have all 15 airlines operational in the facility by mid-June, where customers will find a total of 170 check-in desks, smartphone express bag drops and a brand new self-service area. Once customers have completed all formalities to include customs and immigration, they use the new shuttle train to the boarding gates located in Terminal 1. If you do find yourself using T2, do let us know how you get on. Miami-based US cargo operator 7Air has announced that it is in the process of adding a Boeing 767 freighter to its fleet. The airline, which currently operates 4 737-800 passenger-to-freighter converted aircraft, received its Air Operator Certificate in June 2025 and since then has been building its ACMI, scheduled, charter and ad hoc business, and has said that the plan to introduce a 767 is in response to growing demand. The airline currently operates domestic services as well as flights to Central America and the Caribbean, and recently introduced charter flights to Venezuela. American Airlines' highly anticipated record-breaking summer season is now underway and will see the carrier offering up to 70 daily flights from the US to Europe. Included for the first time are new services from Philadelphia to Budapest and Prague in Central Europe. Both services are seasonal and operate daily using the carrier's Boeing 787 Dreamliners. The Dallas-based carrier has also introduced daily services from its largest hub to both Athens and Zurich. The flights from Dallas operate using the airline's 777 fleet and join more than 230 non-stop destinations available with the airline every day from the Texan hub. Luxair of Luxembourg has been navigating a number of challenges in the past 12 months but still expects a slightly positive operating result for this year, whilst acknowledging the company faces clear challenges caused in part by the introduction of a brand new aircraft type to its fleet, the Embraer 195-E2, and of course the uncertainty caused by geopolitical tensions. The airline's 2025 results saw 1,000 fewer flights being operated over the previous year, but passenger volumes remained stable. Revenue slipped by 2% to €786 million, which the carrier attributes to its cargo operations, which have now been divested. And the airline has ended the year with an operating profit of €9.2 million. This year will see additional Embraers and a pair of 737 MAX 8 aircraft being delivered as part of the carrier's fleet renewal programme. Yesterday, Bloomberg reported that owing to undisclosed supply chain issues, Airbus anticipates a delay in being able to deliver the first A350-1000 ultra-long-range aircraft to launch customer Qantas, who will be using the aircraft to start its much-anticipated non-stop services from Sydney to London. The manufacturer had hoped to deliver the first airframe to the Aussie flag carrier at the end of this year, but now expects this to happen in the first quarter of 2027. The carrier has always said that regular scheduled services can't start until they have at least 3 aircraft fully operational. So customers hoping to traverse the kangaroo route in a single hop may have to wait until late 2027 to realise their ambitions. We will of course keep you updated if anything changes. And finally, Saudia, the national airline of Saudi Arabia, has taken delivery of its maiden A321 XLR, becoming the first airline in the Middle East and Africa to operate the extra long-range variant of the A320 family. The airline intends to deploy the aircraft into new international markets, taking advantage of its range and reduced fuel burn, as well as supplement existing routes where demand doesn't warrant larger wide-bodied aircraft. The A321 XLR is definitely a game changer. That's all for today, folks. We'll be back with you again tomorrow and look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, stay safe and have a great day. See you soon. Kuwaiti low-cost operator Jazeera Airways has confirmed that it will be adding London Luton Airport to its network from the 8th of July. Services will initially be flown from the carrier's Kuwait hub 4 times weekly, increasing to daily from the 1st of August, using the carrier's A320neos. Luton has the honour of becoming the longest flight on the airline's network, with an average flight time of 7 hours from the Middle East. Belgium's cargo gateways of Brussels, Liège and Ostend-Bruges are teaming up to exchange customs declarations to improve import and export processes. When launched, the new tie-up will see cargo companies at all 3 airports submit their temporary storage declarations digitally via a new portal on their airport's community data platforms. This means that companies will be able to uniformly exchange customs declarations for import, export and transits directly with Belgian customs. The project is being coordinated by Air Cargo Belgium and will be operational later this year. South Africa's main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has called for an urgent hearing before the South African Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Transport, following growing concerns over aviation safety failures involving the nation's flag carrier South African Airways, the South African Civil Aviation Authority, Air Traffic and Navigation Services, as well as the Department of Transport, so shortly speaking, every component of national civil aviation infrastructure. The catalyst is believed to be an incident in which South African Airways took 8 days to report a fuel emergency involving one of its Airbus A320s attempting to land in Cape Town on the 11th of May in severe weather, only to have to divert to Port Elizabeth. On landing, it has been reported that the aircraft had just 420 kilos of fuel on board, equating to approximately 10 minutes of flying time under normal conditions, significantly below the 1,500 kilos minimum deemed to be safe. The carrier's reporting of this incident fell well outside the mandatory 72 hours required. The Democratic Alliance is deeply concerned by this lapse and believes it reinforces a broader pattern of delayed reporting, weak oversight and regulatory failure within the country's aviation sector. The committee is yet to respond to the Democratic Alliance, but it does raise serious concerns about independent oversight and will no doubt attract the attention of international safety bodies. Cyprus Airways and Fly Dubai have entered into a new interline agreement. Passengers travelling with Cyprus Airways from Larnaca will gain access to one-stop journeys to a broad range of fly-Dubai destinations to include Almaty, Astana, Colombo, Langkawi, Male and Penang. On the flip side, Fly Dubai gains access to Cyprus for the first time via the agreement without having to launch its own flights. Sustainability is a key focus area for most aviation-based businesses nowadays, and efforts are being made across the world to dramatically improve the impact of aviation on the environment. Schiphol Airport has teamed up with Smart Airport Systems, Airbus, EasyJet and ground handling company Menzies to use the airport's first all-electric taxi bot to tow EasyJet A320s from the gate to the runway when Polderbaan runway is in use. The runway has the longest taxi route at the Dutch gateway, and by towing the aircraft using the taxi bot, the lower fuel burn is obvious and noise reduction apparent, and the impact on the environment positive. The airport has been using a hybrid taxi bot to tow KLM 737 since 2022, and this takes the project to the next level with the introduction of an all-electric vehicle. The taxi bot travels at around 26 miles an hour, so not slow by any means, and is controlled by the flight deck crew thanks to a modification that has been installed on 4 of the airline's A320s that was designed by Smart Airport Systems. By only starting engines just prior to reaching the runway threshold, EasyJet estimates that it will save around 95 kilos of fuel and 299 kilos of CO2 per flight, which might not sound like much, but it soon adds up. And finally, American Airlines will be upgrading the in-flight experience across more than 500 narrow-bodied aircraft from the first quarter of next year, as it begins the installation of the Starlink high-speed Wi-Fi satellite system. The Dallas-based airline joins a growing number of carriers signing up to Starlink's Wi-Fi system, and the move will no doubt be welcomed by domestic and short-haul international customers. I wonder if they're ever going to run out of satellite space. Who knows? Thanks for being with us today. We will be landing with you again tomorrow and look forward to seeing you then. Have a great day. Hong Kong's Cathay Cargo, the dedicated freight division of Cathay Pacific Airways, has added 2 Airbus A350 freighters to its order for the type with the European manufacturer, bringing its firm commitment to 8 aircraft. The original order for 6 was placed in 2023 when the carrier also took options for an additional 20 airframes, from which these 2 have been taken. There are currently 101 firm orders from 14 customers worldwide for the A350 freighter, and we're quite sure that this is only the beginning. The Lufthansa Group's Chief Commercial Officer Dieter Franks has said that customers can book with confidence for travel with the group's airlines this summer, as they do not envisage any fuel supply shortages across their network. In a recent interview, Mr. Franks said that fuel supply was stable and that only a quarter of shipments destined for Europe need to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, and that mitigation was already well underway with alternative supplies coming from other parts of the world. This view is mirrored across the industry, and as I've said before, speculation on social media about fuel suddenly drying up simply causes worry amongst travellers. Our advice is to book, make sure your insurance is up to date, and enjoy flying this summer. It's been more than 30 years since Serbia had a direct connection with Canada, but the wait is over, as Air Serbia has launched a new twice-weekly service from the Serbian capital Belgrade to Toronto. Flights operate on Wednesdays and Saturdays on board the airline's A330 fleet. Toronto becomes the Serbian flag carrier's 3rd route in North America, joining Chicago and New York, and reaffirms the airline's commitment to broaden its reach at the same time as giving customers much needed direct connections to popular destinations. George Kamal, the Managing Director and CEO of the Kenya Airways Group, appealed to fellow African airlines at the 14th African Airlines Association Convention in Johannesburg recently for the formation of a Pan-African Airline Alliance. In his own words, perhaps the time has come for Africa to seriously consider an African aviation alliance capable of connecting African airlines into one integrated African market. If the alliance could be realised, it would promote coordinated schedules, aligned hubs, cargo integration, loyalty programs, maintenance and training cooperation among Africa's carriers. Sadly, not all airlines in Africa are equal, and the challenges that would need to be overcome to achieve the alliance may be the very reason it hasn't happened thus far. In my humble opinion, if they could achieve at least some of the ambitions of the alliance, it would help African carriers to provide safe, reliable, integrated services to a continent that has struggled from the outset to succeed for a myriad of reasons, leaving non-African airlines to divvy out the spoils. Come on, African Airlines, you can do this. As part of its 80th anniversary celebrations, the UK's largest airport, London Heathrow, has appointed its first ever poet-in-residence. Critically acclaimed writer David Larby has been commissioned to pen a special poem to mark the gateway's status as an octogenarian. Ahead of Sunday's anniversary of the airport's first flight on the 31st of May 1946, the poem, entitled Gateway to the World, has been etched into a field close to the airport so that travellers can see as they pass by on board their flights. Sadly, my invite to the 80th birthday party has obviously been lost in the post. But regardless, Heathrow is my spiritual home, so I'd like to be among the first to wish her a very happy 80th birthday. And finally, staying with the birthday theme, yesterday marked 90 years since Aer Lingus first took to the sky when it launched its inaugural service from Dublin to Bristol. The flight was operated using a De Havilland Dragon twin-engine biplane called Iolar. Whilst the original aircraft was lost during the Second World War, the airline, through the Aer Lingus Charitable Foundation, owns a sister aircraft that proudly wears the Iolar name. And she has recently undergone some restoration work to enable her to return to the skies, having last flown 10 years ago, just in time to recreate the very first service back in 1936. Iolar proudly represents the long and rich history of the company, and I would like to extend my congratulations to all of my friends at Aer Lingus and wish them a truly wonderful 90th birthday, with many more to come. That's all for today. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and in the meantime, remember to stay safe. Bye for now. Japan's All Nippon Airways has unveiled 2 new Pokemon-themed liveries that will grace 2 of the airline's Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners. The Pokemon Jet Red livery will be applied to the Dreamliner registered Juliet Alpha 819 Alpha and will emerge in its new paint scheme at the end of July to operate predominantly domestic services within Japan. Pokemon Jet Green will be applied to the carrier's Dreamliner registered Juliet Alpha 923 Alpha and will be flown on the carrier's international network, although no date has yet been set for the aircraft to emerge with its new look. Cabin interiors will also feature Pokemon headrests, and customers will see limited edition commemorative cups and napkins during in-flight service. There's even a dedicated website for true aficionados. All Nippon continues to bring customers and fans bold special liveries, and in the case of the new Nintendo Pokemon schemes, we think they'll be a big hit, especially with Japanese passengers. The long and winding road that Boeing has travelled along during the certification process of the final 737 MAX derivatives, the 7 and the 10, is nearing its end with more than 80% of the flight testing completed, according to the manufacturer's CEO Kelly Ortberg, who stated that there's clearly light at the end of the tunnel here and we're going to get these certification programs done. The Seattle plane maker recently completed a capstone review with the Federal Aviation Administration of its plans to accelerate assembly to 47 aircraft a month, an increase of 5 airframes from the current 42. The key for Boeing will be to stabilise and sustain production rates at 47 airframes monthly without compromising build quality and thus safety standards. And in this respect, the company is confident it can be achieved, which will be good news for launch customers Southwest, who will be the first to operate the 737 MAX 7, and Ryanair, who are eagerly awaiting the first of their MAX 10s. Brazilian operator Azul has said that it's confident that its application for antitrust immunity with American Airlines will receive approval within the next few months, which, in a slightly unorthodox arrangement, would seal approval for the Brazilian carrier to have both American and United Airlines as partners and shareholders. Azul exited Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in February this year, having spent just 9 months in the process, during which it received $850 million in new equity investments and reduced its debt and lease obligations by $2.5 billion. The equity investments included $100 million from Chicago-based United. American also committed to invest the same amount subject to Brazilian regulatory approval. If approval is granted, as the Sao Paulo-based Azul hopes, then American and United will be Azul's largest single shareholders, with an 8% share each. United and American might not be merging, but they are potentially becoming bed partners with their Brazilian friend. It's a funny old game, aviation, how it twists and turns. Couldn't believe it some days. David Neilman, CEO of low-cost regional carrier Breeze in the United States, has said that he doesn't see an immediate need for Breeze to join the push for a stretched 500 variant of the highly successful Airbus A220. He explained to delegates at a recent airline leader summit that the markets Breeze currently serves doesn't warrant a larger gauge aircraft, and that the airline's load factors rarely go above 80% across its network. The airline currently has 54 A220-300s in its fleet, fitted with 137 seats, split across 3 classes, with a further 40 300 variants on order. Whilst there is currently no firm commitment from Airbus to deliver the 500 variant, and there's much debate about the validity of the enlarged airframe, AirAsia, who recently signed for 150 of the manufacturer's 300 variant, is keen to see the larger version become a reality. A decision about the stretch is anticipated later this year. We end today with a quick look at another new livery. This time Qantas has unveiled a Great Barrier Reef inspired scheme on one of its A321 XLRs, celebrating one of the most iconic natural landmarks synonymous with Australia. The aircraft, which has been named Coral Sea, emerged from the Airbus paint shop in Hamburg yesterday and becomes the 7th of 48 A321 XLRs the airline has on order. Coral Sea is expected to be ferried down under by Qantas crews in June, following pre-delivery inspections. I absolutely love it. What a great way to end the week, and what's not to like about a bit of Skippy. That's all from us for this week. Thanks for being with us, and we will see you again on Monday with our usual routes update, so be sure to check in with us then. And in the meantime, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
We look forward to seeing you again next week. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to Air News Daily to stay up to date with all the latest news from the commercial aviation world.